than other people who don't have that kind of knowledge as people who are very successful in academic, maybe in academically way. So at that time, for example, I'm going to give you guys cases that which I know that people who are not academically successful or not who don't have that kind of academic knowledge, they normally people like just take them or maybe use them for their own advantage. For example, if you have a brand, you can have a manager who normally steals from you just because you don't have that academic knowledge that can help you to actually identify the growth that you're supposed to earn, the net, the earnings, like everything you're supposed to be having. Also, the academic knowledge also helps you to actually develop your brand in other ways that yeah you can in other ways that people don't normally people who don't have that kind of academic knowledge normally uh, see. So it helps you to actually increase or or just increase your chances of developing your brand also. So I hope you guys are with me.
Yeah, we are with you. We are with you.
Okay, so by the way, before we even like decide that we need to have a brand as academic scholars, maybe some of us are even more successful than others, but you actually can open a brand, by the way, without even being academic successful. So at the end of the day, it's just you and what you want to do. So before we just get into our branding, we also need to understand the advantages of a strong brand. If you want to actually have a brand, what are the advantages of a strong brand? So actually, in other words, there are characteristics of a strong brand. Actually, I think we can say there are characteristics of a strong brand. So maybe I'm going to start by recognition. Recognition, actually, because I believe that actually one person can actually be a brand of something, or one person can actually be a brand. So when we're talking about recognition, is when people can actually see you and be able to differentiate you with other people, right? Is anyone with me?
Yeah, we are together. We are together. Continue.
Okay. So like it builds awareness and it establishes their identity, where people actually can be able to differentiate you from other people, from your competitors. Even like for example, let me give you an example of an organization which we can easily differentiate their products from other products. I'm going to give you an example of an iPhone. A real iPhone, like people, it's easy to tell that this iPhone is original and this one is fake. Why? Because they are easy to recognize. They don't just do like every other product as other companies do. Like they don't share the same operating system, so they use their own Mac OS, and then others use Android. So they want to differentiate themselves so that they can be actually recognized from their competitors. So that's why their brand is actually much better than others. So differentiation, as I said earlier, it sets you apart from your competitors. So a good brand or a strong brand, one of the characteristics or the advantage of a strong brand is differentiation. You have to be able, like the people you're selling something to, they have to be able, and you're the one who's supposed to give them that ability to be able to differentiate you from your competitors to who you are for what you stand for. Customer loyalty. I'm going to give you guys a story about this customer. This customer, there was a customer who bought a jacket, but this jacket, well, when you read to like the instructions or what the jacket is supposed to be, or the kind of satisfaction that the jacket is supposed to give. It also like it helps you not to. It's like these technological jackets nowadays they normally produce, where they don't get wet no matter how what kind of rain you are in. Like the jacket don't get wet. Doesn't mean that you don't get cold because you are in the rain, but the jacket doesn't get wet. So she just bought the jacket, and the end of the day, like she was climbing a mountain. She was just climbing a mountain. She was just going to have fun, and then she just started posting a video that shows that the jacket isn't what they said it was. So, what did the actual brand do? I need you guys to actually give me um ideas. Like, what would you do as a brand if you had a product which doesn't seem to be what you guys are saying that it is, or just for a certain reason, maybe the product it is what you guys are saying it to be, but just for a reason, maybe a certain reason, maybe a reason which is unintended to be, maybe like how can you handle that situation? I need you guys at least to talk back and tell me, yeah,
Yeah,
how
the
can you?
question.
I was asking you guys if you had a brand and your brand is making a product, and maybe you have a customer, and maybe let's say that that customer is a very I don't know how I can say this, a very well-known influencer, or maybe on Instagram or TikTok or even
Can
Twitter
I
or
respond to
nowadays.
that?
Yeah, you can.
You can.
Okay. The thing is, if you get a given product and you see that what you were expecting or the description of the product
Mhm.
it's not meeting what you saw, the experience that you're getting. Isn't that the question?
Yeah, it is. So like you as a
Gaston.
brand, what can you? Yeah, you as a brand, what can you do?
Yeah. So that's the question. So for me, that's I would say a red flag. It's a disappointment from the first place. It is a
Uh-huh.
f- it's a
So maybe you're talking about Thanostinus
as a
brand.
brand,
Yeah.
I would make better, do better, take that client who is discouraged. Then,
Mm-hmm.
oh, my brand. I give someone a
Mm-hmm.
product and then it's faded, like it's giving worse expectations, right?
Okay.
I would, that would be so bad. But in the first place, you should offer good products to your customers or clients or to the market. But if that happens and then a client or a customer or market do not meet their expectations, that means I would do better from what I was doing, and then improve my quality of my product, and then improve the marketing and the changes, address the changes that happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Justine, for the answer. And
Yeah.
I think you already answered it all. What I can just say is that, like, branding, as it was saying, is something that is very important in whatever we do. But if you are maybe a business person and maybe you did not do well, and maybe your customer, maybe someone who is popular, what you can do, according to me, is to like ask for feedback. That's what I can say from your customers. Be able to understand what was maybe the major problem, and you adjust it. That's what I can just say.
Okay. So actually, you guys actually gave some really good ideas. By the way, thank you very much. What I can say is that at the end of the day, let me continue the story so that I could actually give you what we are supposed to do as a brand. And actually, this technique or this advice can actually be used every single day in our daily lives, in every kind of situation that we normally we meet with. So, Guess what the brand did? After the influencer went live on Instagram, she was like, man, this jacket doesn't meet its own satisfaction. The satisfaction that they are supposed to give us, that they are supposed, like they say that this jacket is supposed to give us, is not the one that they're giving. So the brand actually took a helicopter and gave her another jacket. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I know for a fact that other people or even brands that nowadays that we normally know that are big and large, they don't do that at once. They don't solve the problem at once. They are supposed to actually focus on solving the problem more than denying the problem. Because we actually live in the real world. People know that anything can go wrong at any time, right? So they focused on solving the problem by giving her another jacket, which is actually better than the one that she actually bought. But at the end of the day, what the other people or what their customers actually saw was the brand was actually loyal to what, to their customers. So it ended up being vice versa, where their customers will also be loyal to their brand because they know when they have a problem, it will be solved, right? So it creates that kind of trust and connection between the customer and the brand. So I'm going to go to the next, which is trust and credibility, where consistent branding fosters trust and credibility. Yeah. So what I said earlier was where the brand tries to create trust between them and the customers. So premium pricing, where like your pricing of your products, the brand. So it depends. It depends on your brand. Because so far, let me give you an example here in Rwanda. Here in Rwanda, I've seen like we're not rich. We're not rich, but we love something which is a little bit unique. You know, tell me if you haven't seen this before. Because I've never seen people who like have like iPhone 16 or iPhone 15 or even to like from iPhone 13 to 15. Like they have never put like they don't go carrying their phone in their pockets. They normally carry their phone in their hands. And actually people respect the fact that they are having iPhones. No matter like what you wear or what, like as long as you have an iPhone, at the end of the day, which as long it's maybe like from 13 to 16, because that's the latest version, man, they give you this kind of respect. You know, like even when you're entering in a building, they don't even search you. They will be like, boss, you can continue, no problem. You see? So that's the premium pricing. What I'm trying to say is, like, if your brand focuses on the population at large, so you have to price your products to a certain price where like everyone or the population at large will be able to afford it. But if your brand, it's a brand which includes maybe like rich people only, at that time you have to put uh, a certain price where like not everyone can be able to afford your product, yet showing that the ones who do are unique. They're not like everyone. So yeah, that's a premium pricing. That's why here they say that premium pricing, strong brand can command a higher price. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what are the? So I'm going to be like showing you the challenges of having a brand. By the way.
Hey Gaston, can I interrupt you a bit?
Okay, no problem.
Huh?
But are you guys no problem? Are you guys seeing my face? Because
Can I interrupt you a bit?
yeah.
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
You can see my presentation, not my face.
Yeah, our presentation, yes.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, to understand, tell me what you wanted to tell me. Ernestine?
Yeah, I think network she
Okay.
will come.
Okay, so you talked about branding yourself, you talked about each and everything that someone can do, as in if you're branding. So I want you to
So like I'm left with I want you to I did not hear anything else, so I don't
I
know
I
if
want
think
to
I think you are defining branding and you are going to come to self-branding. I think so. That's what you want
so
to
like
know.
yeah. So I was like trying to tell you like what's a brand where the thing that we are also trying to make or trying to achieve. What is it first of all? So in order to know something, you have to know the good side of it and the bad side of it, and then afterwards we continue as like as people who are very academically successful. Like how can branding benefit us? So
Yeah,
before we actually know how
thank
the
you.
branding can benefit us, we need to know what's branding first of all. Like what are the negative parts, what are the positive parts, things like that.
Great.
So Ernestine, please try to find a place where you can get a lot of connection because clearly, yeah.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
she's back.
Okay. Welcome back
I'm
to Ernestine.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. You may proceed. I will ask after the presentation.
No problem. Because okay. So I hope what I tried to explain, maybe like I answered your question for the time being. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be showing the navigating or the challenges of branding. Okay, I'll be showing you the challenges of branding, which is high cost. Are you listening to me? Because
Yeah,
I
we
don't
are
know if
together. We are
okay.
together. Yeah, you can go
So I'm
ahead.
going to be yeah. So as I said earlier, before we go to how branding can actually benefit us as people who are academically successful, we need to know the better or the advantages and disadvantages of branding. First of all, is high cost. Where developing a brand and maintaining a brand can be very expensive. So you need to understand one thing: it's not easy. It's not easy uh, to actually maintain or develop a brand. It's a high cost, most especially when you're trying to sell to the expensive people, like to people who are very rich who normally buy expensive stuff, or maybe like you need to sell your product in a very expensive price. It takes a lot of money, and maintaining your brand also takes a lot of money. You need to advertise, marketing. You need to show that other people are included in your like the most popular people actually are supposed to be in your brand and everything. So yeah, the thing is, and then the second is reputation risk. Reputation risk is where people can actually your reputation of your brand can be damaged just for, as I said earlier, as the example I said earlier is when do you know like that company, if they didn't actually provide a better jacket, their reputation will be bruised, not like fully damaged but bruised, where other people or like their customers will actually leave their brand and join other brands. So over expansion. So a brand actually has its own disadvantage. Where, for example, I'm going to give you like Android. Android is an operating system where it's used by every other phone excluding iPhones. And we have millions of companies nowadays. Like, no, not millions. I'm over exaggerating, but what I'm trying to say is this: there are hundreds of companies that nowadays make their own phone and they're using Android. That's why someone using Android can post a photo, and then at the end of the day, when you post a photo, maybe on Instagram, that photo will not be posted at its own high quality. Because actually, when you're considering making an app, make an app depending on what kind of phone which is going to be used. So that's why it's very easy for someone who's uses an iPhone to be recognized just by the photo compared to other people who using Android, no matter what kind of phone you're using. So at that time, they are overexpansion. Like that's where the overexpansion comes. Like it's too much for even them to control the customer and the markets. So it's not a good identity or reputation to give. And then homogenization. Losing unique identities for branding becomes too similar, as what I said earlier. Like, if you want an Android, maybe like you can just use it anywhere. But if you want an iOS, it's very hard to find in other places. They can copy it, but it's hard to actually like, give the features and the satisfaction that the iOS it's supposed to give. So I'm going straight to the point now. As academic access, how can personal or how can branding benefit us? Can anyone tell me if they have any other kind of idea to this? Please do tell. I need your voices. I need you guys to vibe up, to hype, to be in the same hype as I am right now.
Yeah,
As in
just
what? Yeah,
you can, yeah.
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 Some-
Hopefully the connection will not disappoint us. But the
Disappoint
main
you.
rationale or reason behind having a brand or branding yourself, it is easy to
Uh-huh.
connect to people. Very easy to connect to people. People can track you down and know you that if we need someone this domain or this field, it's very easy to be tracked down. Yeah.
Okay, so it gives you network. Okay, that's a good idea, by the way. As I said, branding benefits us in a very unique way as people who are who are successful academic, like who are academically successful. Yeah. So please, if there's another person who has an idea, please you can tell. Okay, if
Yeah,
there's no
what I
one,
can say, yeah, what I can
okay.
say concerning branding,
Mm-hmm.
if you are able to brand yourself well,
Mm-hmm.
it is very important, like to make you like known for what you do. Like if I'm a software engineer, I have to
Mm-hmm.
brand myself based on my career, and it will be
Mm-hmm.
easy for someone to identify me without even contradiction.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's a very good idea, by the way. So you guys actually, I think you guys actually will be you'll create better brands compared to most of the people. You already know much about this, so this is making it easy for me. So I'm going to continue by telling what being academic successful can actually benefit us. So the first is transfer of skills, where we can actually gain new skills. For people who are successful academic or academically successful, I'm so sorry. Actually, it's hard for me to continue saying successful and everything. So what I'm trying to say is this: people like us, who've been at school and who are actually maybe we've studied as hard as are supposed to be, and we are continuing studying. It doesn't mean that maybe because we are done with university, it doesn't mean that there's nothing else to actually study. There's a lot. There's masters and PhD, and even beyond that, there's life. But after that, there are skills that we normally don't learn at classes. So we can actually get them from opening our own brands, giving us new experiences, help us with academic success, develops research, critical thinking, and communication skills. So these are the things that we normally don't get in classes. We learn them through actually doing it. So when we get that platform of opening our own brands, we can actually learn something, learn how to communicate with others, in- increase our network, where we know a lot of people who can actually benefit us from different perspectives, and maybe depending on what we need at that time, they can actually benefit us in different ways. So it helps us to increase our communication, critical thinking, increase our network, and also help us to develop that research habit. And then expertise, where advanced education established credibility and authority in a field. Where, yeah, this can actually it explains itself as people who are educated, who are successful, or who are academically successful. It helps us to actually not being controlled. We have that authority in our field. You see, have you ever been in a place where maybe because you don't know something, you just have to wait for other people to tell you what you're supposed to do and everything? So yeah, being as us being advanced in education, it helps us to earn our own. Maybe I don't know how to say this. Earn our own place in our field, as we created our own branding. So as I said earlier, networking where academic environment offers opportunity to build crucial relationship. So what I'm trying to say is this: when you're opening your own brand, you end up having relationship with other people who can actually help you to uh, actually help you to achieve and develop your own brand and develop your own uniqueness. It requires a lot of work and a lot of help. So when you have that kind of network, it's easier for you to actually create your own brand to be actually something which is very, very unique and successful also. So content creation, academic produce papers and presentation for showing cases, showcasing expertise. So this one is actually when you're talking about content creation, I know for a fact that uh, to have your own brand, to have a successful brand, you have to be able to connect to your own people. So nowadays we don't use the newspapers or what, but we use social media to put all the information. We actually use the content creators to explain the experience that they're getting out from our product. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then personal development, where people actually learn discipline, resilience, adaptability, contributes to branding building. So where you are able to adapt to the situation, maybe of the branding, adapt to every kind of situation. Maybe when your reputation is bruised, or maybe your reputation is being destroyed, at that time you need to be able to adapt to the situation where you can actually solve the problem. And then being disciplined, where you're supposed to be disciplined so that you can be able to continue increasing and actually making your reputation being better, recognized by other people. When people are disciplined and have respect, at that time, other people are aware, and also it gives you resilience also. So I'm going to give you the impact of branding, of personal branding. Personal branding is crucial for career advancement. A significant majority of professionals recognize it at its importance. So, as people who are professional, like believers, believe no 71% professional believe personal branding is crucial for career advancement, and then 64% academically eager in some form of online self promotion. So balancing academic and branding. By the way, I need you guys to at least tell me how you're seeing uh, the benefits of branding. What were you expecting? Were you expecting you guys to be actually billionaires, maybe for maybe like after 3 years after building your own branding? I need you guys to tell me something.
Yeah, actually, as you share, I think
Mhm.
there's nothing much that we were expecting out of branding. It was network that you share, being able to develop like personal development, all those things. I think those were the things we were expecting, and that's why some of us try to brand so that you can get a network. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually good, by the way. So I'm going to ask you guys, if you had a chance to brand something, to be a brand of like to brand something that's actually unique to you, you can even brand a shoe, but it's your shoe, so it's your brand. So if you had a chance to actually brand something, what do you think you can brand? What do you think like you can produce? What do you think that you can put on the market out there so that other people could actually recognize you, your products, and the services that you guys provide?
Yeah. Thank you. Let me just, guys, if you have point, you can raise your hand, and I can just choose your hand. But for the meantime, let me just give one. For example, what you asked is a good question. Nowadays, you find the youth complaining that there are no jobs, right?
Yeah.
And if you ask them which skill are you selling, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
have. So what you ask, like to myself now, as someone who is doing BIT actually at the
Yeah.
University of Uganda, for me
Mm-hmm.
to brand, what I can brand is my skill. Like for example, as someone who is doing BIT, I will be into programming, web development. So when I'm branding myself, I have to brand my field so that when company is looking for a brand, someone who can do that, I can be able to sell my brand because I'm good at what I'm selling. That's what I can say for that question. And to other people, I think you are open to also share. Yeah, this is for everyone. I think you can
I can continue.
yeah, you can continue.
No problem. So, okay, so what you said is actually very, very clever and very interesting. Because I think that the technology industry nowadays is something which is consistently developing. You never know what's coming out tomorrow. The products that people are actually creating nowadays is way, way vast compared to what we are normally used to. Because like we used to see maybe or know or hear about maybe this car which is very unique. Maybe after 5 years, maybe the previous version was good, but they have to create something else maybe after 5 years. But nowadays, we have cars that can go. that can use like uh, hydrogen. They can use electric. We have like this technology which we normally don't have, and depending on its industry, things are actually getting produced in a very fast way. You think that today you have a better phone, but tomorrow you'll see another phone which is better than yours. Today you think that you have the best maybe laptop or the best something, but tomorrow you end up having a news that there's actually something better out there. So it depends on what you're having at that time, but it depends on your choice. So you end up depending on your choice. Are you going to choose this or this or this? So you no longer have like that maybe that's like you have the option of choosing a lot of products. So in technology, you have to always be consistent in developing your own skills, your own brand if you have one, so that you can be able to catch up or continue to compete with your competitors. So, okay, the impact we talked about impact. So, balancing academic and branding at the same time. So, you can also be successful, like academically successful, at the same time opening your own brand, but doesn't mean that you have to finish classes and then yeah. So depending on how you can actually be still studying and open your own brand, but you need to be able to balance them. So one of the things that you need to prioritize is academic focus. It doesn't mean that because you have a brand, you have to just prioritize it. When you're actually studying, it's better to focus on your studies more than you're actually focusing on other things. Because actually, I believe that when you study, it helps you more to be able to advance your brand and develop your brand to the extent where other people who are not academically successful or who don't have the advanced education can be able to develop their own brand. So it gives your brand a chance which other brands don't have. So the thing is, okay, the thing that you're supposed to the second thing that you're supposed to prioritize is online presence, where you're supposed, as I said earlier, being online always helps you to be able to understand and I don't know how to catch up with the world, being able to know what's the trending. Like depending on your brand, if your brand is all about music, you need to know the trending songs that are trending at the moment, or you can actually know you can try. You need to know the trending technology, as in what's up to date. In other words, and then networking. Networking is where you need to connect with people, the people who actually can help you develop your brand. Know people and try to respect, have discipline, because you never know. Maybe you can find someone today who's not able to actually help you in any other way, but tomorrow that same person can actually help you in a lot of ways. So depending on how you treat him or her today, can depends on what no it helps you to have a certain satisfaction or help that you can get from that person. And then last but not least, content sharing. So this is how you can prioritize yourself as a person who's academic, successful, or yeah. You need to also try to share your academic work in accessible formats. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is this: use your academic way or educational advanced way to actually help to share and connect other people with your brand, to try to build that connection as a person who has that advanced education so that you can actually get far. So, as I said earlier, I'll have to, or the summary that I can give is, as a conclusion, is that branding is something which is vast. It doesn't have to be just one thing. It has to be like a lot. It has to be like something which is very unique to you, but you need to reach a lot of people at the same time. And you also need to be willing to work as hard and willing, because as I said earlier, it takes a lot of money to open your own brand. It takes a lot, and maintaining it, maintaining your reputation, maintaining everything. It's a lot of work. So you have to be in deep, in sync with your own brand, and use what you've learned at school, at the classes, to increase and develop your own brand. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I would like to end my presentation by saying that you guys, even though you are few, yeah, we did it, and we can actually open our own brand. So even me soon, I'm planning to open my own brand. So I hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gaston. It was very insightful conversation and presentation from you. It's very
Uh-huh.
insightful from the way people should balance branding themselves to academics.
Yeah.
And for the way people should know that we are live on Facebook and LinkedIn, and this will be posted to our YouTube channel. So we're very grateful that you're here. Rujugiro Gaston Mutareka was a former student from University of Rwanda, and he was able to brand himself. Now he's working as an intern on Bank of Kigali in Kigali City.
No,
So,
actually, Bank of Africa. It's Bank
yeah,
of Africa.
Bank of Africa. Yeah, Bank of
Yeah, Bank
Africa
of
in Kigali
Africa.
City. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing that we have been invited to share the way he did it, the way he's been doing everything, navigating through difficulties and everything. So for us, I have few questions for him. There are like two or three of them. The first is in which way peers you see the groups that we move in as friends, in which those peers are helping us, in which way does those peers help us to brand ourselves. Some people say peers are so bad, bandwagon of them. You cannot, have be successful with that. What do you think about it, and how did it help you? Second question is, how do you balance academics and branding yourself with expectations, outside expectations in real world? Because there's this way that we expect too much after coming from a school. Like, I checked all boxes and I felt like I did everything possible. I've branded myself, and how do you do that to meet the expectations? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, can you listen to me? Were you able to?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
so the first question was about peers. When you have peers, when you have friends, how can that help you to be able to open your own brand and actually develop it? So for me, it depends. At that time, if you guys are focused, if your common goal is opening your own brand, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to open your unique brand. You can also actually open a brand which is based on two people. As long as it's good, providing the better products that you're supposed to provide, and maybe connect with your customers. It depends. As long as you guys are getting the benefits. If you're not, then your brand has problems. And one of you is not maybe participating at the same rate as others, or there's always a problem. It doesn't have to be like because you guys are many or what. But I believe that there are brands out there that are actually owned by a lot of people at the same time, yet very competitive and have a large share on the market. So that's one of them. And then the second is I don't remember the second question. Can you? What is it about, by the way? Tell me. Remind me what's the question about.
Sorry.
Unmute, please.
The
Okay.
second question is, you said about academics balancing life. So how would you balance academic branding with real life and then meet the expectations that you have from you also?
So I believe that when you have expectations, you put your expectations as a human being. Like you work as God, you don't work as God, you just work as a human being. Where if you know that you need to prioritize your education first, and also continue by prioritizing your brand, you put the expectations that, or like goals. I believe that the expectations are same as goals because you're expecting to achieve something at a certain rate. So you put realistic goals or expectations. So I believe that most of us we cannot do much as we intend to when we are studying. But when you finish our studies, at the end of the day, we have all the time that we need to actually invest ourselves in our brands. So I believe that yes, you can balance all of them, and it depends on how you prioritize yourself. If you prioritize your education first, you and your brand second, it depends on you. It depends on how you can actually work. You need to do what you need to do your SWOT analysis first. Know your strength, know your weaknesses, opportunities that you have, everything that you need supposed to know about yourself, so that you can actually uh, uh, be able to put a realistic expectations which you can be able to achieve. So you need to expect one thing after all. You need to expect the hardness of achieving your goals. You need to expect that no one, you'll be turned down many times, or even get lucky and be maybe not be disappointed by other people. But at the end of the day, you never know. So I can tell, or what I can advise you guys is to first analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats that you normally people are facing nowadays of opening their brands. And as a person who's academically or what like academic available, or a person who's studying and want to open their own brand, there are certain threats that they normally get. Maybe like being having a retake in a subject and yeah, different things. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much. We are glad that you're here. Thank you so much, so much. So, um, I want you to, I want us to allow the left girl that she didn't say anything to open her camera, and then we can receive her remarks, introduce yourself, and then yeah, that will be enough. Please, I cannot spell her name.
Yeah,
If
yes.
you know how to spell her name, you can call her
Yeah,
up.
yes, you can open your camera so that you can get to know each other. Yeah.
Hi, are you guys getting me?
Open your camera, please.
Yes, we are getting you. We are listening to you.
Yeah, let me try to open my camera. Okay, can you see me? Are you guys seeing me?
Not yet. I think if you're just seeing your screen is dark, I
Yeah,
think
the
maybe
screen is dark. Check your camera.
you can check like up. Maybe you have closed the camera up,
Mm.
the switch up there. Maybe you can check. Yeah, you can
Okay,
see
how
me now.
about now?
There we can see you.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Nyayas Lualding. I'm a student at African Leadership University. I'm in my first year pursuing my degree in software engineering. I really thank the presenter that he was presenting something I had no clue about. And I had a lot of questions as he was like going through his slides. And yeah, I've really learned there are some questions that he already, answered along the way. How important branding is to us as students, and for someone who wants to open a business, it could be really so good if you brand yourself very well, so that it creates a network and expertise. So he has said a lot. However, I at least have, maybe this could be his last question to answer for me. So am I allowed to maybe ask before we back off from the meeting?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes,
you are
sure.
please, you
very
can ask.
allowed.
All right. Thank you so much. My question is, provided that sometimes we may want to open a business that is not of related to our field of studies. Maybe it could be something to do with clothing, maybe something like that. And you want to brand yourself, knowing very well that there is high competition on the market outside there. So how best can one brand herself to, in order to avoid the high competition that is ongoing outside there? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, that's a very good question. So, I will answer you by telling you that nowadays we have a very, very different, like different and vast, like a lot of brands out there actually doing the same thing. If you want maybe to go to the fashion industry where people produce, like give products like clothes, shoes, perfumes, anything that goes on our body, at that time it's fashion industry. So how can you brand yourself? And for me, I think it depends. Nowadays, people are out of content, new content. In other words, what I'm trying to say is this: unless if you bring something which is very unique to the market, that's the time when your brand will be recognized. But if you guys are trying to open a new brand, if you guys are trying to open a new brand, maybe, or a new brand which normally has a very like a high competitive uh, competitors who, whom have the funds that they are required to open, no, to actually create their good products and everything, and you find it very hard to compete with them. So the only way is giving something new and unique, a little bit different, a little bit, because sometimes people don't react very well to things which are very different. They oftenly like try to destroy them or discourage them because they are different. So apart from that, yeah, you just need to bring something very unique, and it doesn't have to be actually very unique. You need to be yourself. You need to be yourself by having a different personality. You can actually create something, but just because you're different from other people, people can like that. So yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
So
very
I
much,
hope
Gaston. for yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for having you come to our live stream, presenting different insightful, opinions and experience that you've been having. You're already outside, so it's so good, so nice for you to have this. So the thing is we're really good. We had a really good experience that you've been telling us how to balance academics and also the self-branding, because you see here people outside are being unemployed because they didn't have this opportunity to get to know how they could brand themselves, to get to know how they could do everything before getting out to the real world and get to know, real thing to how they will apply everything. It's better. So thank you very much. I remind you that this is a session that is coming weekly session to our platforms, LinkedIn and Facebook. And also it will be passing on our YouTube channel. And remind you that African Learn Link is there for experiencing people, telling people and getting to them to be exposed to this kind of education opportunities and every other opportunities that is there to grow up African education. So thank you very much. I may say goodbye to everyone and have a great time.